Hey everyone, we've reached the final episode of Season 1, and there's no word on when Season 2 might drop. But for now, let's dive into the last episode of this season. We find ourselves at Arc 1, where Sharon, William, and Angus have just arrived on Arc 1. The crew is overjoyed to have their captain back safe and sound. However, as soon as they arrive, Sharon decides to lock up William upon her arrival. William is understandably upset and questions why this is happening. Even I was supporting you. Meanwhile, Alicia expresses her happiness by giving Angus a warm hug. Unfortunately, Goofy also falls victim to Kelly's trap. Felix inquires about Spencer's absence, and while Sharon stays silent, Felix realizes Spencer stayed behind based on a previous conversation about pulling levers at Arc 15. Someone had to stay back at Arc 15. Sharon is taken aback to learn that James is missing, only to discover he's sick in the med bay and his condition is worsening. Following this, the scene shifts to Arc 15, where Spencer finds himself captured. 3 guards prepare to lock him away in security storage, but there's no prior indication of Spencer's combat skills. Either he lacks them or chooses not to fight. With his hands bound, Spencer appeals to one of the guards, acknowledging he can't break free, and requests his hands be untied. Once freed, a surge of fighting prowess overtakes him, and he swiftly dispatches all 3 guards. Seizing a communication device, Spencer urgently contacts Arc 1, instructing Sharon to initiate FTL and evacuate immediately. Sharon queries if Maddox will pursue them, but Spencer assures her that disabling Maddox's FTL is necessary, and he apologizing for the situation. Sharon agrees with Spencer's assessment. Despite Arc 15's heightened security, Spencer manages to infiltrate the reactor chamber, incapacitating its operator and sabotaging the FTL. Urging Sharon to depart, Spencer interrupts her attempt to respond before the connection abruptly ends. When their communication reconnects, it's Maddox on the line, revealing that Spencer is currently unavailable to speak. Maddox assures Sharon they'll have a conversation soon. Sharon feels a twinge of concern for Spencer, but her decision regarding him remains pending. Meanwhile, James remains in the med bay due to his illness, despite receiving treatment that proves ineffective, ultimately causing him to slip into a coma. Ava sits by his side, visibly distressed. Eventually, James regains consciousness and inquires about what happened. Dr. Kabir remorsefully informs him that the treatment had no effect. James, frustrated, expresses his desire to leave the med bay, but Ava intervenes, explaining that his anger should not be directed at them, but at the circumstances. James admits his disappointment in himself for failing to find a successful treatment despite numerous attempts. Ava offers him words of encouragement, helping him find the strength to persevere. After some time, Alicia and Dr. Kabir discuss the failed attempt to create a cure. Dr. Kabir notices that the substance they mixed, including venom and other chemicals, has solidified in the tube, which surprises them. Alicia then realizes that the cure failed because the liquid reacted with another chemical, likely helium. Since they're not on Earth and the oxygen is artificial, there's a trace amount of helium in the spaceship. This caused the compound to change form, rendering it ineffective. Dr. Kabir suggests injecting the compound into James's body in a way that prevents it from contacting air. They plan to have James bitten by a spider to directly deliver the venom. Although hesitant, James agrees. After injecting the remaining compounds into his body, James places his hand in the box containing the spider, allowing it to bite him. After some time, when James's blood test results arrive, Dr. Kabir and Alicia deliver the joyful news that the cure has successfully worked. Everyone rejoices, especially Ava and James, who are overwhelmed with happiness. James even sheds tears of joy, displaying emotions akin to a child's. It's noted that Maddox will never be able to replicate this cure, and by the time her scientists discover it, she'll likely be deceased. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Eva returns with tears in her eyes, prompting Sharon's concern. When asked, Eva assures Sharon that she's fine and proceeds to share the news of James's recovery. Sharon expresses her happiness at the news, as the fear of losing James had haunted them since learning of his illness. Sharon, overcome with emotion, suggests holding a meeting immediately with everyone invited. Despite having the option to leave, as the FTL was charged, she contacts Maddox with a proposition. Sharon offers to provide Maddox with the cure for her illness, emphasizing that neither she nor her doctor could replicate it. In exchange, Sharon proposes convincing William to share the code for a program that would stabilize Proxima B's orbit. Additionally, Spencer must be sent to their location, and they would accompany Maddox to Proxima B. Maddox initially reacts with anger, but ultimately acknowledges the truth in Sharon's words. However, if Maddox refuses to cooperate, ARC-1's FTL has been charged, and they will leave in 30 seconds, leaving ARC-15 stranded as they cannot travel to other planets or survive on Proxima B without assistance. Maddox reluctantly agrees to the deal, though she harbors suspicions that Sharon might betray her. Similarly, Sharon also has her doubts about Maddox's intentions. Sharon confronts William, who is locked in a room, and insists that he must provide them with the program code. William demands to be set free in exchange, but Sharon refuses, threatening to hand him over to Maddox if he doesn't comply. Reluctantly, William agrees to cooperate. Meanwhile, on ARC-15, Maddox prepares to board the shuttle with some of her soldiers. However, Spencer warns her against attempting to deceive Sharon, emphasizing Sharon's intelligence and the consequences of betraying her trust. On ARC-1, James and the others are also careful about Maddox. They gather near the airlock with weapons in hand, fearing that Maddox may send her soldiers. After some time, the door opens, and Spencer emerges followed by Maddox. Sharon warns Maddox that any attempt at deception will result in the deal being terminated. Sharon's people conduct a thorough search of the shuttle, fearing that someone may be hiding aboard. To their dismay, they discover that Kelly has also joined Maddox. Sharon is furious, demanding to know why Kelly was brought along, especially considering her history of causing harm to their crew members. Maddox, seeing Kelly, becomes angry and slaps her, expressing her reluctance to have brought her. Kelly defends her presence, stating that she wants to be with her mother in her final moments. Maddox apologizes to Sharon, explaining that she hadn't intended for Kelly to come along. Understanding the situation, Sharon orders Kelly's hands to be tied. Seeing Spencer, James, and Sharon reconcile, as they now trust Spencer, Maddox is taken to Med Bay. There, Dr. Kabir repeats the same process he used on James to administer the cure. Although Maddox remains suspicious, James reassures her, urging her to believe that it will work. Sharon adds that if they had intended to kill Maddox, they could have simply ejected her out of the airlock. Upon hearing the reassurances, Maddox is convinced and willingly places her hand in the box containing spiders. However, Kelly suddenly claims to feel unwell and requests to use the bathroom. Jelena escorts her out, but Kelly reveals her true crazed nature by attacking Jelena and rendering her unconscious. It becomes evident that Kelly's presence on ARC-1 serves a different purpose altogether. After some time, when Dr. Kabir presents Maddox with her reports indicating that her illness will gradually be cured, even the typically brave Maddox is moved to tears. She becomes fully committed to the deal, although she insists on confirming the information with her own doctors first. Before boarding the shuttle, Felix rushes in, revealing that their guards have been attacked and Kelly has fled. Sharon demands answers from Maddox about their plan, but Maddox is unaware of Kelly's actions. Concerned about Angus, Sharon learns that Kelly seeks revenge on him. Meanwhile, Kelly ambushes Angus in the bioshelter, intending to kill him for betraying her. However, Alicia intervenes just in time, striking Kelly and preventing Angus's demise. Although Angus survives, Kelly falls into a coma. Despite being adversaries, the people of ARC-1 show compassion and provide medical treatment to Kelly. Unfortunately, due to limited facilities, Dr. Kabir cannot save her. Maddox proposes transferring Kelly to ARC-15, where advanced facilities are available. Sharon grants permission, and Maddox apologizes for the situation, stating it was a consequence of Kelly's actions. Maddox expresses readiness to proceed with the previously discussed deal, and Maddox takes Kelly back to ARC-15. Meanwhile, as Sharon made a deal with William for the code, he requested Sharon to set Kat free in return. Sharon honored the agreement and released Kat. Later, Kat visited William, and they had a private conversation. Unbeknownst to everyone else, Kat and William were involved in an affair, and Kat feeling deeply depressed. On another front, Angus and Alicia's relationship flourished, as Angus apologized for trusting Kelly, and Alicia reassured him of her affection. They conducted research on planet Proxima B and discovered liquid water on its other side, despite expectations of it being frozen. The significance of this finding remained to be uncovered.
Meanwhile, James's recovery brought him joy, and he went on a date with Eva in the bioshelter. When Sharon and James arrived at the bridge, they encountered Spencer, who requested Sharon to reinstate him as lieutenant so he could return to the bridge. Seeing Spencer's changed demeanor, Sharon believed in him and happily restored his position as lieutenant. As everyone on the bridge prepares to bring Proxima B into rotation, William enters the code and explains how the devices will generate a magnetic field to initiate the planet's rotation. He advises Sharon to move Arc 1 away from the planet to avoid being pulled into its magnetic field, a potentially fatal situation. Sharon agrees, and Arc 1 shifts slightly away from Proxima B. However, despite activating the device, there are no immediate changes visible on the planet. William, however, remains confident and smiles, stating that they should wait and witness his magic. Suddenly, Maddox contacts them with accusations towards Sharon, expressing suspicion that she had planned to betray them by causing harm to Arc 15. Maddox is shocked to learn that 400 lives were at risk due to the magnetic field pulling Arc 15 towards Proxima B. It becomes clear that William had manipulated the situation to enact revenge against Maddox, blaming her for the death of his wife. Sharon tries to intervene and stop William, but he shows no signs of relenting and appears to take pleasure in his actions. In a desperate situation, Arc 15 hurtles towards a collision with Proxima B. Alicia realizes that they've been strategically placed away from the planet and the device activated to prevent them from turning it off. Sending a signal to the planet would require getting closer, risking the same fate as Arc 15. However, Sharon refuses to let 400 lives be lost, prompting James to manually operate the ship. Upon reaching the planet, they successfully deactivate the device, saving both Arc 1 and Maddox's crew. Once communication is restored, Sharon assures Maddox that they had no involvement in the incident. It was all orchestrated by William. Maddox had suspected as much, which explains her growing camaraderie with Sharon. With the crisis averted, William enters his code, causing the planet to start spinning. The group is overjoyed at the prospect of finding a new home amidst the chaos. Their joy is short-lived as the other side of the planet faces the sun, causing intense heat and igniting the methane sea. Alicia is bewildered as she had expected to find an ocean on that side, but it turns out to be methane which has caught fire. The grim reality dawns on them. The planet holds a vast sea of methane that could explode at any moment. Questions arise about why the probe sent 10 years ago didn't thoroughly investigate the planet. Regardless, they must swiftly depart from this ticking time bomb. Sharon orders her crew to move the ship away from the planet immediately, and Eva accelerates the speed. Sharon also alerts Arc 15 of the imminent danger. Unfortunately, Proxima B erupts in a catastrophic blast before their eyes. Though they manage to escape, their ship sustains severe damage from a large fragment of the exploding planet, severing communication between the bridge and the rest of the crew. As Alicia grimly predicts their impending doom with oxygen running out and closed doors hiding the extent of casualties, Arc 15 unexpectedly appears. Initially skeptical of Maddox's intentions, they are relieved when she assures them of sending help. Joy washes over the crew's faces at the prospect of rescue. And with this, the first season of the series comes to a close. The future remains uncertain as they await the release of Season 2 to discover their fate. With the realization that survival in space alone is untenable, the possibility of settling on the planet Rose looms ahead. Their journey continues, and while the details of their next adventure remain unknown, updates will be shared when available. If you've enjoyed the series so far, your support through likes and shares is greatly appreciated. Thank you for tuning in.